What are the events that characterize the just ended wars? And looking into them, what is the main thing to be a takeaway? Assuming that everyone is on the same page. Every pundit have, especially in the mind, happen. But the reality is that what the pundits and the so-called experts predict usually end up not happening. And that puts into question not their credibility, but their understanding of the dynamics of the current events. Probably some of them have overstayed their knowledge, or they watch their so-called intelligence fizzle out with recent realities, especially when everyone have access to the same knowledge they think that they have monopoly over coming up to now. And that's a fact. Even a doctor, yeah, maybe his years of experience puts him in a position to handle some things better. But being the know it all when it comes to diagnosis is almost passing away, because all you need to do is work with the same sample he has, put it into the right place, and you get the right diagnosis, even the right prescription to take care of yourself. Do I suggest that you do that? Of course not. At the end of the day, real experts still have a part to play. But what you have to understand is that nobody ever again has monopoly of knowledge. The trade deal that took place last week made it clear that all those economics experts, all those media experts that know everything before they happen, are complete either fake or losing the touch. When this gentleman Trump in April declared his global year for the US, everyone laughed at him. The media called him tacos. Trump always sucking chickening out. But one by one, country by country, he was securing individual deals. The EU, they said, will thank him. Unfortunately for them, it didn't happen. And what are they saying? Instead of being gentlemanly enough to say that we got it wrong, and they try to find a way to spin one thing into it or the other. And that's absolute dishonesty. A good player knows when he has lost the game. You either give up or you say, oh, I thank my opponent. But they wouldn't. Instead, they jump to the next topic. They jump to the next headline. The EU, on the other hand, made a long fuse about this. Insisted that they're not going to ship the land. Prepared their own counter tariff against US. Why all those noise if you know that they're not going to take it to the logical conclusion? It would have been better to come to the table, have the interest of the people at hand. I can understand it has become a reality that the people in Brussels are the people controlling the affairs of the member countries. But who elected them? That notwithstanding, whether they are elected or not, they are delegated by the people who were elected by the people. So let's take it that their government is as legitimate as it should be. But why are they not putting the interest of the people first? So maybe if they are doing, it's not showing. A piece of bread a few years back, just 2 years ago, was 25 crores. Now it's 34, going to 40. What effort have they made to curtail the force of inflation against the wages? It's not showing. All their concentration is finding a way to propagate the war in Ukraine. You heard the NATO minister say that there was no possible way they can come to understanding or cooperation with Russia, maybe in the future, distant future, when Putin is gone. They are ready to prepare for war. Under whose dime? Whose human head? So when we say all this, it looks like the people who are suffering doesn't concern anyone. It should be the main point of concern of those who are in Brussels. Because the people at home in the different countries are trying to put their own 5% of their GDP for defense. Yet the economic alliance is not yielding any visible dividend. Why I use the word visible dividend? Probably it is yielding any, but it's not affecting the life of the people. The money you have has lost its value massively in comparison to 2 years back, and yet they are pushing forward. The point is, instead of finding a way to go against this stuff, they are putting laws to make sure that you don't talk about them. If you do talk about them, you are taken up as agents against the government. How can you be against the government when you are talking about the wrong thing the government is not doing, the thing the government is getting wrong? If you're against the government, you go against the government all out, and knowing that you will either die or be in prison. But you're only pointing out so that people will see, and the same people will put a little pressure on the government to make amends. Just you are actually a positive activist, not these so-called activists who care much about themselves and what they can achieve by opposing. No, you're only pointing out so that they can look at them and make the life of their government better. Nothing more. So think about it. Put your perspective. That's what I think. Except if they come to the table, forget about this massive war they are planning against Russia. Get the two of them to sit down. I've always said this. Sit down and stop it now. So that 5% they are necessarily put into defense can be put to economic growth, to boost each country's or all the member countries' economic possibility. It's not helping anyone. US is fighting for their own interests, and they have secured their interests. Our interest is not to cripple everyone and their ability to do anything. Whether we like it or not, we are going to purchase their things. It's on the 15% tariff. And they're going to bring in theirs on a no tariff level. Did we lose? Probably we did. But the market is in their hand. But if we boost the local markets of the member countries, the US market might be as small as anything. As it can be kind of a side talk to everyone. But when the interest is in military, there's no time to look at the economy, commerce between all of these countries, because there's nothing actually uniting the countries except that you have non-tariff borders. If they can put the weight on the commerce as much as they put on the military defense, it will be really good for the government. The reason why they don't see this, I have no idea. What voice do I have? I don't know.